Welcome to the Maximum Libertarian Podcast. I hope myself and my guests can effectively explain why individual liberties are essential to building a stronger community and supporting and helping the growth of the Libertarian Party. So please go over to MaximumLibertarian.com to discover all the ways you can help grow this podcast. Now on with the show. This is identical. And here's Mr. Nekhaila. He's logging in right now. Oh boy, let's add him to the stage right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the LNC chair, Steven Nekhaila. How are you doing, sir?
Good. Can't complain. Another day in paradise. At least that's what they say.
Excellent. We've had people jumping in, jumping out. I started early so I could get people to come on in. And so right now we've got a couple people watching. But I guess we'll just start. Yesterday was the election. Some people are happy, some people are sad. How did the LP do?
Well, the LP did, I think, better than expected. We had a number of very nice races won all around the country. We have a city councilman in Detroit, which I think is pretty cool. We won several mayoral races, city council races, and we're still trying to get it all tallied as news starts to spread as to who won what race and how we performed. But there was a lot of winners, and this is an off election year. This is not the midterms. This is 2025. So to be involved in so many races and actually get some nice wins, it's refreshing and it's good to see. And not to say that winning something like a soil and water board or a race like that, a lower level race, is a bad thing. It's not. I'm sure we have a few of those under our belt as well. But to see so many city council, county council, mayoral races being taken by libertarians is it's very nice to see. I'd probably be pretty unhappy if I lived in New York City right now, but if I lived in some of these other municipalities and I got a libertarian in charge, I'd be feeling a whole lot better. So I'm excited about that. Yeah,
I'm not excited. I mean, some of the ideas that are coming from the left side, I definitely don't get excited about, but I don't get excited either when I look at the right because of just look at the debt that we've gotten war. They constantly bring us into that. That's what brought me to the party, was because I got out when I looked at our foreign policy. How is shaping up? How is membership doing right now? I know that might be a big general question, but do you see things happening on that side?
Absolutely. Before we hop on that topic, I did want to address one quick thing that I think would be very interesting, is that I just want to speak on real briefly the whole Mamdani win, and a lot of boomers are pretty shocked that, hey, they let a socialist into New York City, despite the fact that New York City's been largely moving in that direction for a long time. But I think it's important to recognize that the younger generation, millennials, and especially Gen Z, voted overwhelmingly for Mamdani. And so that tells us a couple of things. One thing we know by the data is that the younger generations tend to be very low in institutional trust. And just looking at our own data, libertarian voters also are very low in institutional trust. So I think as the years go on, we're going to see more and more of socialism from the left. We're going to see more nationalism from the right. And I think we're going to see a lot more libertarianism as well. As long as we provide it, we want to be able to offer that other option. And I think we're going to see more polarity in politics as we move forward, which is going to be very interesting because it's going to completely reshape the way American politics looks over the next 10, 20 years. The New York establishment Democrats fought very hardly against Mamdani. They lost. And there's open card-carrying socialists in cities like Chicago and Portland and California and many places. So this is something I expect to increase. I also expect it to increase with the level of far-right nationalism and libertarianism as well, as long as we capture our share of the market. And I guess that'll be a good segue into membership. So membership numbers for the National Party have been declining pretty steadily over the past several years. We were down under 10,000 members pretty recently. That decline has started to slow somewhat, but ultimately I don't expect it to really rebound until we launch what we're calling Archimedes 2.0, or the Parity Project, which Project Parity is our project to be at parity with the Republicans and Democrats over the next 10 years in terms of fundraising, growth, and visibility. And in order to get there, we're basically rehashing Archimedes 1.0, which was a project back in the late 90s and 2000s that targeted voters, registered libertarians, using old Reason magazine lists and other lists from back in the days to put it on a table and go through and just send out direct mail. And that actually brought the party to 30,000 Libertarian National Committee dues-paying members, $3 million a year in annual income, and that was 25 years ago. So we haven't done anything like that since until now. So we're partnering up with a company called Ironlight. We're working on revamping our data. We have about 1 million records in our data. The data's been pretty useless for a long time because it's incomplete. It has duplications and things that makes it very difficult to actually use properly. So we're cleaning up 1 million records. We're also going to be purchasing the Libertarian registered voter data. So there's about 700,000 registered libertarians in the United States in the 33 states that have voter registration. And we're going to be targeting all those people with the Parity Project messaging. That's going to include our 10-year plan. That's going to include keeping them in the loop about what's going on, getting them to join the party, et cetera, et cetera. And so we think by reaching out to them via direct mail, email, text, social media, mobile ID, you name it, we want to micro-target these individuals because they're already identifying as libertarian. They're just not actively engaged. We haven't reached out to them in a long time or ever. And so now we have an opportunity to really awaken the sleeping giant and bring them into the fold. And then once we figure out the bottom of our funnel and say, okay, we're making conversions and this type of person tends to be libertarian, then we can look at the 27 states that don't have voter registration data, and we can try to make an educated guess on who is most likely to be a libertarian and start going after those folks. So I'm really excited about this. We're very close to getting to the point where we're ready to start firing on all 8 cylinders here. It's taken a lot of prep work and data cleanup, and the staff has been doing a great job setting the stage for this. And we're getting very close to the launch of the project. So within the next few months, it should be officially launched. And once it does, you'll know about it. And I'm very excited about it. But I'm hoping that is what's going to bring us out of this membership slump and also make us some money.
That sounds good. I've been with the party since 2010, and this is probably the first time where I really felt like there's a lot of division. And I kind of wonder how much division is it, because when I think back, it was around, and I'm not saying it was Trump and Hillary that did it, but around 17, 18 was when I really started feeling, and I started losing, like, because people would sniff around, like when Gary Johnson ran, and be like, oh, I like it. But now it's like everyone digs in their heels. And then it's almost like or how much are you feeling that still? Because I know that the parties has this side and this side, and is the unity coming back, or have you started to feel anything on the national level? I know the membership, you're saying it was dipping, but it is what it is.
It's interesting because I was chair of Florida when we started to feel a lot of the schisms in the party, and of course there was the whole Mises takeover. And when it happened in Florida, I got along with the Mises people there. They of course sized me up a little bit, but at the end of the day, we were able to work together, old guard and new guard, and actually work together and do some really cool stuff. That didn't happen in every state. A lot of states didn't assimilate properly, and it was basically a zero-sum game. And so we're still seeing the effects of that many years later. There's a lot of competing visions as to what the party should represent in terms of more, should we focus only on Austrian economics? Should we fight the culture war? Should we fight the culture war in this other direction, focus on civil liberties, LGBTQ issues, racial issues, etc.? And I think it's really a microcosm of the greater societal woes on the culture war and trying to figure out where we fit into it as libertarians. And in my opinion on that is, ultimately, personally, a lot of those things really don't matter. When we're, what are we, $38 trillion in debt, we're about to fight a global war on three fronts. The threat of nuclear brinksmanship is at a centuries high, and there's just so many more important issues that I think we can plant our flag into: ending the Fed, fighting inflation, tariffs, et cetera, and really being on the vanguard of a lot of issues that I think are so much more interesting and more important than, and it's not to say that single issues aren't important, and I understand a lot of people feel very strongly about issue X, Y, and Z, but it doesn't mean we can't focus on those issues and give them a time and attention. But there needs to be an overarching look. We are differentiating ourselves from the old two parties because we're focused on these main issues that libertarians are really good at. We're really consistent on anti-war. We're really good on fiscal responsibility. We are the ones that actually have answers to these issues, and we want to be the ones that own those answers. So yeah, it's hard to get people to agree on certain things. You are going to find people in the party that can stomach the other side that doesn't 100% agree with them. But I think if we're 70-80% aligned on issues, we should be able to get along. Now, ultimately, I think a lot of it is factionalism. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the schisms really are just team sports. And I think that the only way to combat that for us really is to bring so many new people into the party where those factions start to get drowned out. Because if you have so many, I call them GDIs, goddamn independents, that are just here because they believe in the message, they believe in the party. They may fall on different sides of the culture war or whatever, but they believe in the general message. They believe in freedom. They're on board. I think if you get enough of those people in, you're eventually going to be in a position where it's no side has too much power, and we need the fresh blood coming in. So I don't know if that's going to fix everything, but yeah, I think as time goes on, and I think especially even since the Trump administration was elected to office, there's been so much disappointment from libertarians who voted for MAGA and from general, the MAGA crowd, the Maha crowd, et cetera. We have a lot more in common with Thomas Massie than we do with Donald Trump. I think that should have been pretty obvious from the start. But I see a lot of people from the Republican Liberty Caucus that are coming back to the Libertarian Party, for instance. And I think that we need to stick true to our principles and really hold the line, because the old two parties are not going to hold the answer here. It's just not going to happen.
I totally agree with you. I think one of the things that can make us better is if whatever our beliefs are, that's what we stand by. And even if it is not received by the general public, you've got to stand firm with, this is my principles here. Too often, I don't want to be changing up just to try to make it a big tent, but I'm going to have to sacrifice my principles, Mm-hmm. And that's what I see with like the Republican Party. They talk one way and then they act a different way. Where Democrats are the same way. I feel that they probably do the same also.
Yeah, there's a good saying. Republicans tend to run like libertarians but govern like Democrats, and I think it's so true.
Right.
At least at the federal level, that's for sure. I might have to hop off here because my daughter's not feeling too good. So yeah, she's okay. So I'm gonna have to run, but I do apologize. But if you want me on later or next month, I'd be definitely
if we
down
can. What I would like to do is maybe reschedule you for maybe in a month or two, and I'll send you an email and we'll do that. All right.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you for coming on and talking to us, and we will see you shortly.
You have a good night. Thanks so much.
Yep. All right, everybody. That was Steve Nekhaila. He answered a few questions. Obviously, you heard that. His family comes first. As always, family should always come first. So, kids, we're going to jump off. That's the end of RVL meeting tonight. We return to in-person meeting December 10th at Corned Beef and Company, 7 p.m. And we will talk with Steve Nekhaila again. I'll set it up and all that good stuff. So please spread the word. As much as I feel like sometimes I'm up against the ropes, I feel like maybe I'm on the deck looking up at the lights, you know what I'm saying? But for any Democrat or Republican out there that may be hoping that I'll shut up shop and walk away, nope, the Roanoke Valley Libertarians will remain as long as I'm up and about. Now, other things may fall away. I don't know. But here in my backyard, we keep fighting. And I hope you think the same thing. Let's get together. Let's be positive and stay centered, my friends. Till next time, I'm Brian, the Roanoke Valley Libertarian Chair, and I will talk to you later. Good night. Thank you for listening to the Maximum Libertarian Podcast. Visit MaximumLibertarian.com to help me grow this podcast. So until next time, my friends, stay centered.